All right, everyone. Welcome back to day three of the Audiobiz virtual NAMM coverage. In this session, we are going to be talking with a couple of the guys from Hosa Technologies, and we're going to be getting into cables and why those things matter for you. But a little bit of housekeeping before we start. Being day three, I sound like I am repeating myself, but this is interactive. So if you do have any questions for the team, make sure you put those in the comment section so we can pull those in and have the guys be able to interact with you. And also, we are going to be giving away some swag during this event. So we are going to be dropping a secret word to get yourself access to the chance to win a mystery swag pack. Make sure that you capture that word. We are going to drop that word during the conversation at some point here, but some people are asking, what is a mystery swag bag? So let's get into that and we'll get over to the Hosa guys.
So what is a mystery box? We've collected swag from all of our manufacturers, plus some guaranteed prizes that will be in the limited edition Audiobiz NAMM 2021 mystery box. These boxes will be packed at random and filled to the brim with t-shirts, hats, stickers, all the fun swag you'd normally get at NAMM. We've collected from all of our manufacturers. We're gonna pack these at random and send them to you. So all you have to do is collect the 5 secret words. We're gonna drop one every single day. You're just gonna go to this web address, fill out the form, submit your secret words, and be entered to win. So these mystery boxes are limited to the first 30 people that submit the correct 5 secret words. So you don't wanna miss out on the videos and you don't wanna miss your chance to win one of our limited edition mystery boxes. This mystery box could be yours. It's so heavy. Don't sleep, get a mystery box.
Well, welcome everyone. We've got Hoyt and Jose coming to us live from their respective houses in wonderful sunny California. Unfortunately, I am not able to be in California this year for the NAMM show. Just like you, we are all quarantined due to this wonderful coronavirus. But, you know, I wish I was there because it's always a treat to be able to see you guys at the NAMM show. And we always have an very early rep meeting, which luckily it was later this year. So, you know, I didn't have to get up too early, but I did miss the, you know, the breakfast. So welcome guys. Glad you were able to join us today. You know, we've got a lot to talk about, you know, with Hosa. You guys have, you know, just like everyone, been kind of adapting to how you guys are doing business and everything. We were talking before we went live on just, you know, a lot of the changes in the industry with being locked down and trying to figure out how to best reach out to customers. But you guys have, you know, a lot that's going on, and Hosa kind of has an interesting story. Do you want to give us a little kind of a background on, you know, kind of how Hosa got started and everything?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'd be happy to jump in here, and then Hoyt can fill in the blanks wherever he'd like. But I've been with Hosa since 2008, and when I joined, there were a lot of kind of almost urban legends about how Hosa was started and what the word Hosa meant, and all of these things that were going on around. And at the time it was cool, and we kind of liked that mystery. But, you know, as time passed and as Sho kind of passed the company on to his daughter Mayumi, it just kind of became time to make things clear and actually be able to tell the real Hosa story, and still do it from Show's actual mouth, him actually telling us where Hosa started, how it all began back in 1984. Because the reality with any company, right, not just this one, but with any company, when the company actually is founded, it's not really the start of that vision, right? That takes sometimes years from when you have it as an idea to kind of working up the courage and the finances to finally make it a reality, right? So this video that we put together at the end of 2020 was all about having Show tell us exactly where it all began. You know, he came to the U.S. at age 25, and started from there, knowing that he wanted to eventually launch this company. And when it became reality was in 1984, and he did so with just a little desk, just a telephone, and kind of making calls and visiting people face to face, just him. And going from there, and this video presents all of that. So we're really happy to finally be able to tell that story from beginning to where we are now, here at NAMM.
Yeah, we've got a little sneak preview of that video, but before we jump in, Hoyt, you wanted to say something?
Oh yeah, it's just there's the full version on our NAMM profile. It's a great way to see a lot of people here at the company, in a more casual light. And, just really shows how much of a family company we are. So it's definitely worth the investment to check it out.
Well, I'm going to play a quick little teaser video of it. I have to say, Travis and I at Audiobiz, being the marketing guys that we are, I have to say I was blown away by this video. So let's watch this little sneak peek, and then we'll get back into it. So yeah, a little sneak peek. Definitely check out on the Hosa page and the profile to watch the full 20-minute video. But it kind of goes into the whole origin story of how Hosa got started, and really how you guys are you're connecting people, and you've done a really great job at that. So it's awesome to see that. So can you tell me, does Hosa actually mean something? I've always wondered that.
It actually is. It started as an acronym. It's the initials of the 4 people that started the company, or the 4 people that put some money behind the company. The company
Gotcha.
has always really been Show as the person who was doing all of the work, but he got an additional 3 people to help him actually start it, and that's what Hosa comes from.
All right. Well, see, we learn something new every day. So I know we are all missing the trade shows. It's kind of funny, as a person that goes to trade shows a lot, you're like, finally a break. But, after a year of not going to any trade shows, we're all kind of like, I miss the shows. But I know, Hoyt, you are a musician. You're a guitar player. So I'm sure you are missing the show, because I'm sure you get to break out of the booth occasionally and go check out some.
Yeah, a lot of us at Hosa are musicians or engineers with audio backgrounds, so we all love walking the show and seeing new things. For me, I do have a bit of gear acquisition syndrome, like many, but I like seeing the people more than anything. To see my heroes walking around, Bootsy Collins, people that I listen to the records, just walking a few feet in front of me. It's always a cool thing to shake somebody's hand, or get a pick if they're willing, that kind of thing. So
totally. Is there any
get excited,
awe-inspiring people that wandered into the booth or something that you were surprised to be there?
I got one of my heroes, Uli Roth. He was the guitar player of Scorpions. He walked into our booth once, and I got to talk to him just about one of the albums he put out in the 90s that nobody knows about. It was really cool.
Oh, that's cool. What about you, Jose? Any special NAMM moments? Wow, that was pretty cool.
I mean, well, going all the way back, I would say that the very first time that I did see Bootsy Collins definitely stands out for me. Just seeing him kind of walking around, and always thinking of him and like George Clinton as kind of these otherworldly figures, right? Especially, I mean, that's the way they set themselves up, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Coming from an alien spaceship, right? So to actually see them so close, it was definitely something that stays with me. But I would say I miss just seeing live music at NAMM. You know, last year I was able to catch Earth, Wind and Fire after one of the days, and it's just such a good time, just hanging out and knowing that it's work. You know, right? We're there to meet people, we're there to work, we're there to drum up new business. But at the end of the day, you get to catch some awesome music. Sometimes it's from unexpected places. You may just walk out of the front door and there's somebody there that's set up in the little patio area, and they're playing something excellent. It's definitely what I miss the most, I would say.
Yeah, I've seen some interesting things walking around. There's I can't remember the name of the little podcast segment, but where they're recording on the little VW bus. You know, so like I've walked past that before, and you're like, what is going on? And there's just phenomenal musicians everywhere. You know, as a live sound guy, I don't play anything, but it's cool to be able to see all the talent. And I love talking with friends that have come just to experience the show, because it is pretty awe-inspiring when you go there, especially if you're a musician, to walk in and be like, everything is here in one spot. You know, it's pretty cool. So that's awesome. But Hosa seems to be getting into, obviously we're being creative on the markets that we're expanding into and seeing, and it's interesting. You guys have really been trying to kind of expand what Hosa means to people. And one of the interesting ones we were talking about on the rep call was getting into the gaming market. And do you want to tell us a little bit of like why going that route, and what you guys are looking at doing?
Sure thing, man. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, well, when we look at what Hosa means, right? Our slogan is connecting what moves you. The idea is to think of what people are passionate about. We started in the music industry. I, like you, I'm not a musician. I came in as an audio engineer, and I went in that path because I knew that what I wanted out of life was to be as close to music as possible, even as someone who is not a musician, right? So I followed that path. That took me to various places, including here, and that's what I'm passionate about. But there are lots of other things that people are passionate about, and gaming is one of them. Gaming has been growing for several years. I mean, I go all the way back to my original Nintendo 8-bit system. That's where I started. But the reality is I think I went up to like a Sega Genesis, and then I think the very first PlayStation, and then I sort of had a family, and that stuff took most of my time. But I still have I follow gaming. I know what's going on, and people are really passionate about it. So it just makes perfect sense for Hosa to get to that crowd as well, and learn what they need and what are they missing in this landscape. How can we help them connect to the things that they are passionate about? So to us, it was kind of a logical expansion into that space, and one that we're inching into in 2021.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see kind of how that market's been blowing up. I've got two young boys myself that it's funny. I see them watching YouTube and watching the gamers, and it's interesting. You've got platforms like Twitch and everything that these people are going live, and it does really kind of create a sense of community around around that. It's something
absolutely.
It's cool to see, and like you guys have really been showcasing a lot of people too on the audio side. You've got a lot of different segments, and you're pushing musicians that are being creative and showing how they're using the products. And one of the ones, if you haven't checked it out, you should check out the Hosa's little segment, The Gear That Got Away, where they're talking about to artists of what's that piece of gear that you sold or you traded for something else, so Hoyt, I'm sure you've got to have a gear that got away story.
I have the most stories in that category.
So what's one of those?
For me, it's the Mesa Boogie tri-axis preamp. I used to have a big rack. I got it in the 90s, even though they weren't cool in the 90s. It was more of an 80s thing to have your big giant rack with all the blinking lights that Journey had. So I had one of those, and I eventually moved towards, all-in-one amplifiers, non-master volume, retro kind of things. And I had to get rid of that in the process. And I'm always kind of pining for that. You push one button and everything kind of does it for you MIDI. I don't have that anymore. So,
Jose, is there any recording gear that you had, or your favorite thing that got away?
Well, I have to answer that a little bit differently. I think that in the time that I spent kind of working with other engineers in a couple of recording studios and stuff, what I miss is something that I never actually had. I just got to play with at the time, and that was things like a Neve console. Like being actually able to record on one of those is fantastic. And then you get away from that space, and you're now at home, and you've got a little portable recording DAW, and that's like, oh well, it's not the same thing, but this is what I have.
Yeah, it is interesting to be able to have access to some of those, and it's funny because I think as people we always like, oh, we want the new thing, and I'll get rid of the old thing, but it's nostalgia. It happens all the time with cars and gear and all that stuff, and it's interesting. I've heard some stories of people being reunited with some of those gears. There was an interesting one with Chris Cornell. They were talking about the Leslie that they used on Black Hole Sun. That when that album blew up and they made all this money, he got rid of all this old gear, and it was like he found it on eBay like 20 years later or something like that, was able to get that. So that's cool that you guys are kind of focusing on again the passions of people and helping them make good good products and everything. So the kind of some of the other things, like you guys offer some different tiers in your cables, and really, like, what do you guys think? Why do cables matter, and why does having good cables matter?
Everybody's really concerned about their gear, right? And you make an evolution over time with what you like and choose. But at the end of the day, you're only as good as your weakest point, and cables can be that point if you don't have the right cable. So we make a good, better, best for every budget. But for people that want the best, you should get the best. We have our Edge series with electric ends, 20 gauge cable for guitar players. I'm going to talk about guitar since I play guitar. But we also have all kinds of options, like flat patch cables, even in with a RAN connector still flat, but saving space on your pedal board. So you always have to negotiate what it is you're willing to sacrifice, because you can't always have the best connection with the least amount of space. So there's a lot of things to take into consideration. So we have a giant offering for that very purpose. Yeah, you do, and I really like the serviceability of the higher end cables, like you're saying, of using the Neutrik and even the RAN connectors of doing pro audio. It's nice to be able to service things. You guys have a phenomenal warranty, which we had talked about with you guys on a previous episode we did. But you guys have that lifetime warranty, which is awesome. So it always leaves people. You never have I guess you're never stuck, and be like, just toss this out kind of thing. That's awesome. Yeah. And if you've owned Hosa cables, you also know that you don't need to use that warranty very often. So that's also another thing that can keep you happy through your gig.
Yeah. So you guys had some new products that came out in 2020, and we've also got a little glimpse of where you guys are going in 2021. Jose, do you want to take us through some of those products?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, so in 2020, the biggest thing that happened was that we had to shift just like everybody else did, right? We started the year thinking we were going to release new audio products, and then the pandemic hit, And as we started kind of looking around and talking to some of our customers, we realized the reality was we needed to come up with some ways of helping people protect themselves, right? That became the number one priority in 2020 for just about everybody. And we wanted to see how could we contribute to that and help out where we could. And so that's what we did. The first three products that you're looking at on your screen right now are all for personal use, right? The Handy Glove is actually a product that is made by Keg Labs. Keg Labs is a brand that we've been distributing for several years. They make the Deoxit contact cleaner. We've been very successful with that. But Handy Glove is meant for you to put on as a lotion on your hands. And then when you get out to do any type of job, you have now a protective layer over your skin. So whatever dirt or anything that you're collecting on the job is actually not getting on your skin. It's getting on this invisible layer. You can then use that second product, which is the Handy Scrub, to remove that with a little bit of water, and everything comes right off and nothing ends up on your skin. So great way to protect your hands. The next product from that is the Gobi Labs Hand Sanitizer. Again, about protecting your hands. Gobi Labs, one of the biggest products that we had in 2020 was the Gobi Labs microphone sanitizer. We've had that for several years and it's been a really good seller, but when COVID-19 hit, it was difficult to keep that available because there was so much demand. So it became a logical expansion to go into the hand sanitizer. That hand sanitizer that we offer is 80% alcohol. So definitely meant to protect your hands and eliminate just about any kind of bacteria that you get on them. And then the last two products came out at the tail end of the year, and that is about getting back to work, right? And when we do all get back to work, it's going to be a different landscape, and protecting yourself is still going to be important. So we released the AV work gloves that you see there, which are fantastic. They're comfortable to wear. They're breathable. They have a grip on the palm so that nothing slips when you're using them. And the best part about it, for all of us that work in like AV and use touch screens to set up like, either big theaters or meeting rooms or what have you, you can still use touch screens while wearing those gloves, which is a fantastic feature. And then the last one is a reusable face mask with a slot for disposable filters. Super comfortable to wear. It doesn't constrict your face as so many other face masks do. It's very comfortable. You can breathe easily. I have one. My wife has one. And those are among our favorite ones to use just because they don't constrict your face. And that was a big problem, especially as people started trying to get used to wearing face masks who had never done it before. It's a little bit difficult at the beginning for sure.
Yeah, I have not tried the Handy Glove, but that seems like such an interesting concept. Even when you're not worried about COVID and stuff, just being a production guy and being out and you're touching all these cables and random stuff on stage. That's actually pretty cool. So I'm going to have to check that out. And I've used the mic sanitizer, do that with all my production stuff between gigs, and it's always not being a musician or a singer, but I can imagine just having to walk up to a microphone that you don't know where that thing's been.
Correct. Like the microphone sanitizer was a valuable tool long before 2020. Like I loved having that thing around and being able to spray it on microphones and not having to worry about anyone who had been a little too close to it before.
Yeah, definitely. And you've got some new products that are going to be coming out here in 2021, which is kind of cool. And that kind of gets back to some of that gaming market.
Yeah, a little bit. These are tools that are both used within pro audio and video, but also would be used in that gaming space. We are adding to our cable organization section. We have cable ties and have been able to sell those for a number of years, but we're adding these two cable wraps with gamers in mind, because those desks get really messy. You start talking about having multiple monitors. Sometimes you've got multiple consoles, even if you're a console person, as opposed to a PC person. If you are a PC person, a lot of times those are getting built from scratch and it's very DIY, and you end up with a mess of cables no matter what. So adding these two cable wraps is an easy solution to get those cable bundles, put them in one place, either stick them somewhere where they're not visible behind your desk or along the floor. And it just makes everything look neat and tidy. And as you get into these situations where these desks have like neon lighting and things like that, where they're meant to look striking, you know, and get a lot of attention, you don't want to do that. And then the attention that you're getting is all these cables that look ugly behind your desk, right? So if you're going to use that neon lighting, you definitely want it to look pristine. So that's the cable wraps. The next two items are these tiny little adapters. And what says Hosa better than adapters, right? That's our bread and butter, as I like to always say. These adapters are meant for people who use headsets, right? Headsets that have all-in-one microphone built in. And sometimes you've got a situation where the headset has everything built in, but the computer you're connecting to does not, and it needs a separate connection for headphones and a separate connection for microphones. So that headset will split it. That adapter will split the headset signal. If you've got the opposite problem, where you've got a computer or a console that actually has the jack all in one, but you'd rather use, you know, headphones and a separate microphone, then you use that adapter as well. So we're bringing in both options later this year, early this year, first quarter. And then the last two are just two new additions to our stands. As you can see, all of these are additions to categories that already exist. We've had microphone stands for a number of years, but these are meant specifically for people who are sitting at a desk and they want to stream content, kind of the way that you're doing now. You either got a very compact tabletop microphone stand, you just put it on your table, you set up your microphone right there, you're good to go. And then the other one is your more traditional kind of boom arm that attaches to the end of your table, comes up around, gets your microphone from the top, similar to what you have going on right now. So we're introducing these 6 items in the first half of 2021. We think that they fit in the pro audio and video market just fine, but we also think that they will help out some of the gaming community with some of their needs as well.
Yeah, it's amazing how many boom arm microphones are now popping up on all the podcasts and stuff, but all on the Zoom meetings now. Like you're saying, everyone's sitting in front of a desk doing meetings, and you got to be heard. And I like the little portable desktop stand. You know, being a pro sound guy, you know, you're always looking for something small that you can throw in your mix box or whatever to have on the occasion that you need, you know, a little stand or for a measurement microphone or something like that. So you got some pretty cool things. So we are kind of coming to the close of our time together, but before I forget, I need to drop the secret word for everyone to get that. So let me give you the secret word for today. The secret word is hand sanitizer. Very appropriate for this year, but thank you guys so much for joining us and talking a little bit about what Hosa's doing during these times. And you know, again, wish we were there in person to be able to see you guys at the NAMM show, but here's to next year. So yeah, I appreciate again you guys coming out and joining us.
Likewise, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us, and definitely hope to see everybody in person next year.
Yeah, awesome. And if anyone wants more information on Hosa or wants to check out any samples of cables or anything like that, you can reach out to us at Audiobiz. Hit us up on the website at audiobiz.com. Thanks again for watching us on our virtual NAMM coverage of the 2021 NAMM show. Thanks a lot.